It's the drug that could change the lives of thousands living with this incurable disease. But Australian patients have to pay more than $250,000 each per year for it. These families are demanding the government do something about it.
When you live with CF, you can't make 5, 10, 20-year plans, and having this drug would allow me to do that.
Good girl. Think about the children. Think about babies that are born with it. There's nothing else that can help them as much as this medication can.
We saw a turnaround in Maya in a couple of weeks after she got access to the drug. We would be, thrilled to see that same turnaround for Aiden should it become available.
Jake, Aiden and baby Kenzie live with cystic fibrosis. And while there's no cure, they believe there is a medication that could change their lives. Tonight, their families are pleading for the drug Trikafta to be listed on the Pharmaceutical Benefits Scheme.
Although it's a big financial decision, I think it would 100% be worth it, yeah.
Aiden and his sister Maya have CF. Greg's their dad.
He's pretty much like any other normal 19-year-old, apart from the fact that he has CF and spends morning and night doing therapy, going off to hospital. The last couple of years, he hasn't been great. In year 11 and 12, he spent 40% of high school in hospital. Maya's, a little bit more private about her CF, but for the last 2.5 years, she hasn't been to hospital.
Maya has access to Trikafta through a clinical trial. Greg says it's improving her quality of life, and he wants the same for his son, who missed out.
The change in her pre and post Trikafta is massive, and I'd love to get, a piece of that.
27-year-old Jake is desperate.
When you're being selected for trials, they look at a number of different factors to maintain your eligibility. Some of that is your level of sickness, so where your lung percentage is at. Some of that is what genes you have which make up your cystic fibrosis. So in the past, I haven't been able to access the drug due to both of these reasons.
Jake, a disability worker, says he's in limbo. His lungs are at 40% capacity, yet Jake says he's classified as not sick enough.
The thing which I find is the hardest is some of the mental health side of living with chronic illness, anxiety over a shorter lifespan, anxiety over can I maintain a life where I could have the option of having children or having financial independence throughout my life.
People with cystic fibrosis develop an abnormal amount of mucus within the lungs, airways and digestive system. This causes impairment of the digestive functions of the pancreas and traps bacteria in the lungs, resulting in infections that can lead to irreversible damage. Lung failure is the major cause of death for someone with CF. In Australia, 1 in 2,500 are born with it. Trikafta is TGA approved, but having only been on the market for 2 years, data is anecdotal.
So the improvements we have seen in cystic fibrosis since the 1960s, when children used to die at the age of 5, we now see that people living to the age of 38. And what we really hope is that with the new CF modulators, that people live to and die of old age inconvenienced by taking 1 or 2 of these tablets a day. What Trikafta does really tackles the abnormal protein and corrects it, and it means that the cell functions properly. We really want to look at...
Professor Adam Jaffe is Head of School of Women's and Children's Health and Professor of Paediatrics at UNSW Medicine. Are there any risks?
So all medications have potential side effects. What we see is a newer, much better CF modulator. So this is very exciting. This is an opportunity for now 90% of our patients with cystic fibrosis to get access to a new drug.
A drug that's recently been made available in Germany, the UK, Ireland, Greece, Denmark and the USA. What's it like being a CF mum?
So the daily management of it's a lot. She needs extra salt added into her formula bottles. She has a vitamin supplement daily, antibiotics now twice a day until the end of winter. She has Creon, which is a pancreatic supplement which helps her pancreas absorb fats and the vitamins that her body can't do on its own. She also has to have physio for 10 minutes every day. We bounce and have to compress her lungs to get the mucus moving around. And you can't just say, okay, we won't do it today. I can't be bothered. It's too hard. You have to because it's her health. Oh, cuddles.
Kenzie just celebrated her first birthday. She's too young for Trikafta, but Mum Antonia knows the impact the medication could have on her little girl one day.
What are some of your worries, your concerns for Kenzie?
Has to be like the life expectancy. Like when they told me that was like the thing that got me. And then when you're told, you know, the life expectancy is, you know, at this age, mid to late 30s, oh, you're just crushed. It's heartbreaking.
Before Christmas, Trikafta.
It's how many of Ray Hadley's listeners are feeling, telling that the 2GB and 4BC radio broadcaster, which is part of the Nine Network,
that it's a life-changing drug for those who suffer with cystic fibrosis, and it has to be approved by the Pharmaceutical Benefits Scheme and made available for a reasonable price. At the moment, you're talking of hundreds of thousands of dollars, every year.
$280,000 per year, per person, to be exact. Nettie Burke, CEO of Cystic Fibrosis Australia, says her organisation has a solution.
Give us access now and then negotiate.
Nettie's hoping the medication goes on the agenda at the PBAC meeting in July.
And the drug is available to people with CF on the 1st of September.
It will come down to what the government is willing to pay and what Trikafta manufacturer Vertex is willing to accept.
Living with chronic illness is more than just your diagnosis. It's a way of life that we have to adapt to, and we do adapt to. And to give us the tools to live a full and healthy life in all aspects. That's my message.
Vertex says it's working to find a solution so all eligible cystic fibrosis patients have government-funded access to Trikafta as quickly as possible.